When the dust of the Gigantomachy settled, a fragile peace fell over the cosmos. Zeus and his siblings, the victorious Olympians, ruled from their glistening thrones atop Mount Olympus, their new order established across the heavens and the earth. But deep within the planet's core, a mother's heart seethed with grief and fury. Gaia, the earth herself, could not forget her children, the Titans. Hurled into the abyssal depths of Tartarus, they lay bound and humiliated, their suffering echoing in her very essence. This torment was more than the mother of all things could bear. Her love for her vanquished sons curdled into a thirst for vengeance against the upstart gods who had stolen their birthright. From the ancient blood of her first husband Uranus, spilled upon her soil eons ago, Gaia conceived a new brood, a race born of rage and rock, the giants. They were beings of monstrous strength and unyielding defiance, created for one purpose: to tear down Olympus. The giants, or gigantes, were born upon the fiery plains of Phlegra. Their forms were a terrifying mockery of the divine. Towering and immense, their legs were coiling, hissing serpents, their faces contorted with a furious light. Some had hair of living flame, while others wielded entire mountains as clubs. Among them, leaders arose, names that would be whispered in fear for ages: Porphyrion, the king of the giants; Alcyonius, whose strength was tied to his native soil; and Enceladus, whose fiery breath would one day fuel a volcano. They were not mindless brutes. They were the very embodiment of rebellion, the primal, untamed forces of the earth rising up against the laws of heaven. Gaia, their mother, gathered them and spoke, her voice the rumbling of an earthquake. "You are born of me, the eternal earth," she declared. "Look to the heavens. The Olympians sit in their golden halls while your Titan brothers suffer in eternal chains. Rise, my sons. Rise and cast down these usurpers. Make the heavens tremble once more." A cataclysmic roar was their answer. With hands that could shatter continents, they began to rip mountains from their foundations, piling them one upon another, building a crude, terrifying ladder to storm the gates of Olympus. The sky darkened as their colossal shadows ascended, and the pillars of the world began to shake. The Gigantomachy, the war of the giants, had begun. As the earth-shaking siege began, a worried Zeus sought the wisdom of the oracle at Delphi. The prophecy he received was both a curse and a promise. The giants, born of the earth, cannot be slain by any god alone. Victory will only be won with the aid of a mortal champion. The fate of the cosmos, it seemed, once again depended on the union of divine power and mortal courage. Zeus, looking into the currents of fate, knew this champion would be his own future son, born of the mortal queen Alcmene, the hero Heracles. But Heracles was not yet born. The gods had to face this onslaught alone, holding the line until their prophesied savior could arrive. The battle erupted on the plains of Phlegra with a fury that dwarfed even the war against the Titans. The ground split open, and the sky bled fire. Zeus, from his throne, hurled thunderbolts that shattered the giant's mountain staircase. Poseidon, lord of the seas, tore islands from the ocean floor and flung them like discus. The brilliant goddess Athena, clad in gleaming armor, charged into the fray, striking down the mighty Enceladus and burying him beneath the island of Sicily. It's said that even today his fiery breath is what causes the eruptions of Mount Etna. Dionysus, the god of wine and madness, fought with a wild, unpredictable fury, while Apollo and Artemis rained down arrows of silver and gold. Yet for all their power, the gods could only injure, not kill. The prophecy held true. no immortal hand could deal the final blow. And then he came. Heracles, son of Zeus, mortal by birth but divine in spirit, arrived on the battlefield, fulfilling the prophecy at last. Wielding a massive bow and arrows tipped with the lethal venom of the slain Hydra, he stood side by side with his divine father. Together, god and mortal turned the tide of the war. Heracles' first target was Alcyoneus, the giant who could not die upon his native soil. An arrow found its mark, and the giant fell, only to rise again, healed by the touch of his mother, Gaia. Following Athena's wise counsel, Heracles used his incredible strength to physically drag the struggling giant beyond the borders of his homeland. There, away from Gaia's nurturing embrace, a final arrow ended his life for good. Next, the giant king Porphyrion, consumed by battle lust, dared to assault Hera, the queen of the gods. Zeus, enraged, struck him down with a blinding thunderbolt, and Heracles' arrow finished the job. One by one, the other giants fell. They were crushed beneath mountains, hurled by the gods, drowned by Poseidon's relentless waves, and pierced by Heracles' venomous shafts. The rebellion was broken. The earth fell silent as Gaia mourned the loss of yet another generation of her children. With the defeat of the giants, the reign of Zeus and the Olympians was cemented, their authority absolute and unchallenged. This was the final, definitive victory that established the Olympian order as the eternal law of the cosmos. But the Greeks knew that this cosmic harmony came at a great price, and the memory of the struggle was embedded in the world itself. The bodies of the fallen giants, it was said, became the very bones of the mountains. Their buried forms still tremble and groan deep within the earth, causing the earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that serve as a constant, potent reminder that the primal forces of nature never truly forget. The Gigantomachy is more than just a myth about a spectacular war. It's a profound allegory for the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Gaia and the giants represent the wild, untamed forces of nature, powerful and fertile, but resistant to the structure of civilization. Zeus and the Olympians symbolize reason, law, and the effort to shape a chaotic world into a balanced one. And Heracles, the mortal hero, stands as the crucial link between humanity and divinity, proving that even the gods sometimes need mortal courage to preserve the world. This epic story reflects a core Greek belief that balance in the cosmos, as in our own lives, is not a given. It must be constantly fought for and defended. Thanks for journeying with us into the heart of this epic myth. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another adventure into the past. See you next time.